Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to try to talk fast but clearly and paint a bit of a picture in your heads about MDF, tell you a little bit about the company, and then focus in on some of the fun stuff, some of our more advanced opportunities. So let's see how this works. Look, most of our corporate entities are actually private, but we do have one publicly listed company, Felix Gold, which I'll be talking about shortly. So there's a quick disclaimer. But now let's move on. So a little bit of background about MDF. Look, we were founded in 2020. We're an exploration company. We're a team of geoscientists first and foremost, but we're increasingly identifying as a data company. I like to tell people that all exploration companies are really data companies. They just don't realize it, and they don't behave like it, and they don't treat their data the way they should. My previous role, prior to joining the company just earlier this year, with many years with the likes of BHP and Rio Tinto, including running their data science team, exploration data science team. Founded that team in 2020, and handed over the reins just 5 years later. So look, I'm a geoscientist, but I'm also passionate about the data science, and that's something that MDF is very serious about. We're passionate about this opportunity, about being systematic in how you prioritize opportunities. So look, this approach that I cannot take any credit for. The team that I've joined, I've had really amazing success in the first 5 years since the company was formed, already generating over $500 million US dollars in value. And you'll see where that value is being created in a few minutes. But we're really just getting started. One of the reasons I joined MDF is that we've got this really ambitious vision, backed by some great investors, and we really want to be one of the best exploration teams, best data science teams in the world. We want to grow our impact and grow the culture and our workflows globally. So look, a bit about the approach. Look, part of the opportunity in exploration these days is that being able to leverage the vast amounts of data that are at our fingertips. But traditionally, exploration companies are terrible at managing that data. We forget. Yeah, we have a horrible corporate memory, but these new tools that are available to us just give us this opportunity to just make sense of all this data around the world, whether that's public data or your own data. So we're building out this workflow. Ultimately, a simple way to describe part of our vision that underpin our work is we're building a mineral assessment database. It's not a mineral occurrence database. They're all over the place. We ingest those mineral occurrence databases, but we add value. We interpret that data. So we have an assessment, a mineral assessment database. We're building a global mineral assessment database that's live. It's got links to all these public domain data sources. And so that's that figure in the center there. And once you have that database, once it's live and being updated and has these feedback loops as you capture more data, and more data that you capture is fed into the model, but also that public domain data is fed into the model, the insights and the predictions and the prospectivity recommendations that you get from that data just improve over time. So that's really kind of the foundation to our model for success. Elaborating on that a little bit, but very quickly, look, we methodically assess exploration opportunities globally. We want to be systematic. We don't want to be kind of super subjective. We want the data to really speak for itself and be diligent about how we interpret that data. Once we prioritize opportunities, we then go and collect data. So we've just wrapped up a 4-month program in Alaska of collecting thousands of samples for assays, age dating, geochron, fertility assessment data, you name it. And so that data, once we capture it, we'll feed it into our models to update those predictions and help us prioritize where we want to then start to spin out drill-ready opportunities. And I'll show you those examples of these entities that we've already spun out in a moment. And then the next step is this continued iterative improvement. It's not just collect the data, not see anything interesting and move on. Even that bad data is valuable data to help us prioritize new opportunities in the future. So these are some of the corporate entities that fall under the broad umbrella of MDF Global. These are organized left to right in terms of stages down the exploration pipeline. Our focus is Alaska at the moment, but we have this vision every 2 years or so to expand and establish a new regional hub. But our focus is in Alaska. So all of these opportunities here that I'll talk about in the next minute or two are in Alaska. Starting with, on the left, our generative pipeline, our early stage critical mineral alliance. So this is a 5-year fully funded program We have currently funded for $15 million for that 5 years. We're into our second year of that initiative. And so that's really about early stage desktop reviews, reconnaissance work, and then what we want to spit out at the end of that are these drill-ready commercializable opportunities. And moving to the right, Wiseman Metals is one of those earlier kind of commercialized opportunities. Early stage, some historical drilling, our own drilling in there, porphyry copper system that's sitting up in the Brooks Range. Moving over to Copper Bay, a more advanced opportunity. Another porphyry copper system, very exciting, modest historical resource. I'll show you a slide on that in a minute that might illustrate why we're very excited about the upside potential there. And then over on the right, Felix Gold is our listed company, generating a lot of interest at the moment because of the antimony results. Truly world-class antimony results at surface, 25 minutes from the nearest McDonald's on the outskirts of Fairbanks in the Tantina Gold District in Alaska. So back to that, this is a snapshot of our projects all the way through that, from that on the left, the early stage desktop reviews and reconnaissance stage work that under the umbrella of MDF Alaska. As we move projects down the pipeline, we have handing over to companies like Wiseman Metals that we spun out, still as a private entity, but with a different mix of investors. And then moving further to the right, Pyramid, held by the Copper Bay Group, and then there's Felix Gold right over on the right, where we have almost in production opportunity there at Felix Gold. So there's a very quick snapshot across Alaska of those early stage opportunities. The colorful box on the right is just a way to help kind of illustrate how we systematically prioritize things. It's actually not rocket science, although there's a lot of data behind a graphic like that. We're just basically prioritizing based on above ground risk, community issues, environmental issues, access to infrastructure versus the geological potential. We're passionate about not wasting anyone's money, time, and effort on the right deposits that are in the wrong location. What I mean by that is that we're very careful, and one of our first filters is around infrastructure, proximity to national parks, any kind of cultural issues. We take that stuff very seriously. Even before we're reviewing the geological potential of an area, we're ruling out large areas that we just don't believe we'll be able to mine in any realistic time frame. So geological potential versus above ground risk, it's pretty simple on paper. There's that Wiseman property, porphyry system up in Alaska, outcropping, shallow mineralization. You can see some of those copper oxides outcropping there at surface. I'm going to quickly dash on to this Copper Bay Pyramid porphyry system in the Aleutian Arc. It's a modest resource, modest historical resource, but one of the reasons, many reasons we're very excited about this is that we can just see that resource has a lot of room to grow. We've got world-class drill results in that property already, but we just believe that previous explorers misinterpreted the geology of that system. There's a nice colorful airborne mag survey image there on the top left. This property had not had a property-wide mag survey. We flew that in June and July, and as soon as we got those results in, we realized that there's a common association with your high-grade copper and these mag highs, and actually high-grade copper around those mag highs. So we checked out the nearest mag high to the known historical resource at Pyramid, and we made a new discovery last month, outcropping bornite, chalcopyrite in this telescope porphyry system. Pyramid itself, there's a cross-section through that system there, highlighting some of the more interesting intercepts, including 260 meters at about 0.6% copper. Within those zones, we have higher grades over 1% that we believe have been misinterpreted in the past, purely explained as supergene enrichment. We're seeing evidence for hypergene overprinting, telescoping. So this is a significantly telescoped system. Any porphyry geologists out there, you'll know that telescoping, hypergene upgrading, supergene enrichment, these are all important boxes to tick when you're prioritizing your opportunities. And lastly, Felix Gold. This is our Treasure Creek property, the Northwest Array, where we're getting some truly world-class antimony results. We are really fast-tracking this project, to try to get into trial mining by the end of this year. I think I mentioned a second ago, 25 minutes from the nearest McDonald's, 2-minute drive from the highway. Amazing location in this prolific gold mining district close to Fort Knox. come and chat to us if you want to learn more. Thanks very much.